Dr. Kingsley, it's so
Hey,
good to see you. How are you doing, sir?
hey, Kelly, how are you?
I'm good. How have you been?
Good, good. I'm doing great.
How's your weekend going so far?
Amazing. I have family over, so it's been amazing.
Nice. Are they over for the weekend or over for Thanksgiving?
They're here for the weekend. I'm actually visiting them for Thanksgiving.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what have you been up to? It's been a while. We catched up. How have you been?
I know. The semester is still on, so
Yeah.
I'm busy, trying to have an impact, education-wise, and then also trying to stay safe as well. We
Yeah.
all know what's going on, so yeah.
True. True. Well,
Mhm.
thank you for being on the show. Thank you for honoring my invitation. It's so good to
Oh, you're
see you
welcome
here.
any day.
Yeah, could you tell my audience something about you, something about your origin and something exciting that people should know about you?
Okay, good to have everyone here. Again, my name is Dr. Kingsley Ekwemalor. Usually, I tell people to just call me Kingsley because sometimes, like I tell my students, um, we all learn from each other, and I don't want a situation whereby they actually think that I'm the smartest person. No,
Of
we
course you
all,
are.
no, I'm not. We all learn from each other, and I tell my students to call me Kingsley, and I don't have any problem not being called a doctor. But again, people will say you ended, but again, it's everybody has different way they want to live their life, but I just go by Kingsley. Um, a lot of people think I'm from the East, but I'm from the South, just like you, Kelly. I'm from Delta
Okay.
State, Nigeria, and I moved here in 2012. Um, yeah, that's probably about 8 years now. I've been in one city, and I'll tell you a little bit about my city.
Cool.
But then again, I had my bachelor's in University of Pawtucket, and in biotechnology. Again, the goal was to be a doctor, anyway, anyhow.
Right.
But then, at the beginning we all wanted to go to medical school, but then, things happen, and we changed career path. And then I kind of switched gears a little bit, and then I moved to study biotechnology, moved here for my master's and my postgraduate as well. So a little bit about myself. I'm someone that loves research. I love asking questions. And if I ask questions, that means I need to provide answers for them as well. So that's one of my passion. I love writing as well. Um, During my leisure time, I sit down and write as much as possible. And then I also love to travel. I've been, as here in the United States, I've been to a lot of states as well. And I love tennis, and then I love soccer. We're both of us are Manchester United fans, and
Oh, let me show you. Let me show you real quick.
I'm a Red Devil till I die. So it's been quite a good journey, and yeah, that's some fun things about myself. And I'm family oriented. I love friends. I have a lot of friends. And I believe in good friendship, and yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, that's good to know. Well, one thing I would say about Kingsley, the humility, you can see it right there. The humility, don't call me doctor, call me Kingsley. We know, we'd love to call you doctor because you worked for it. You've had so much good times in school to get to where you are today. So it's
Yeah,
only ideal that we, show the respect and show our love for you as well too. So thank you, Dr. Kingsley.
thank you
And
very much.
yeah, so of course, your school back home in Nigeria, the undergraduate
Yeah.
school you went to, what was the school and why did you choose this course you chose back home?
Yeah, so just like I said, our goal was always to go to medical school.
Right.
And for me, I chose to go to University of Pawtucket because then that was one of the top schools that had a good medical program. But then, I'll speak a little bit of pidgin here. We're all Nigerians. Nigerian, they're all stressed and all.
True. True.
Um, so I ended up switching gears and I ended up ending in biotechnology. And I think it was a good decision. And I think, I'm proud of, taking that bold step,
Yeah.
and choosing that career path, and, you know, University of Port Harcourt kind of gave me, you know, the resources that I actually needed. And just like I said, I was someone that loved doing research. And during my third year, normally everybody goes for internship, and
Mhm.
a lot of people were going into places where they could make money.
Right.
When you want to come back for a final year, you want to come and show that you've earned a lot of money and all. but I chose to go to a research institute, and because then I love tissue culture, and I went to Abia State. It was a research institute in Umudike. I think it was called National Root Crop Research Institute, and they had a good tissue culture lab. And I ended up being there for 3 months, and I gained all the whole experience that I needed. And you know, after that, I graduated, and then I asked myself what was next, and then
Right.
I kept on going.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So the is it a dream or the desire of Nigerians or most people is when they're done with their bachelor's in Nigeria or any country, they want to go
yeah,
abroad and to do the masters, go and do
hmm
PhD, or you just explore. So
yeah,
there are so many countries in the world to go do that. Why did
yeah.
you choose America?
So for me, just like I said, I had that passion of doing research, and again, just like I said before, my initial area of concentration was market, and there was nothing available for me at that point,
Yeah,
And then I asked myself, okay, the best way to equip myself in order to be marketable was to, go one step further, and that was to get a master's degree. And everybody always do their research, and I did
true.
mine as I'm someone that loves doing research, and looking at countries that actually will be beneficial to me career-wise, United States was the top. Although I had friends that were going to the UK, and I have family there, and but then I had an aunt who actually believed in me, and she kind of also helped me in doing my research as well. And then we looked into schools that had good biotechnology program, and we decided, okay, maybe it was time to leave. Then I was still working, as a youth corporate that finished from Total Nigeria PLC, and I finished, and I did so well that my bosses actually retained me there.
Yeah,
But then I was like, this is not my passion. This is not actually what I want. And one day I walked into the office, and I quit my job, and I wasn't then I knew where I was going to, and I knew what I already wanted. So I was like, okay, maybe it's time to take that, step ahead. And then I moved down here, and just like I said, everybody, you can create what you want for yourself. And I created what I wanted for myself. Everybody has a story. Your story can be mine, but
I
I
agree.
can learn, I can always learn from yours. I had people that said, okay, when they got here, they had to do 4 or 5 jobs in order to be, successful, or in order to live a good life. And I was like, yeah, I'm proud of, situations like that, but that wasn't gonna be my path, and I decided you know, to work smart. A lot of people say work hard, but you can also work smart. And coming here in the United States, biotechnology seems to be the key, especially as we all know, our population is growing, and by the year 2050, we should be about 10 billion. If we are about 10 billion, it means we need to provide food for this growing population. And we can't do it the natural way. We have to find different ways in order to feed this growing population. And that's my passion. I want to have an impact, and I want to contribute to that as well. And United States is one of the key drivers in biotechnology, and I decided, here will be a good place for me. And that's been success journey so far.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
agree. It has been a good place for you so far. And, it's one thing that we are all proud of. When we and not just me, but so many people look up to you and look up to your story. And
Yeah.
see the successes you've had and the challenges you've had. In
Mhm.
being where you are today. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to come online. Just to tell us a little bit about you. So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
You're
Now,
welcome.
in applying to the US, people worry. They don't know what to do. Most times they meet what do you call it, agents that take all the money they have in terms of helping them come here. So how was the process for you? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it difficult? Was it straightforward? You know?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a little bit story about myself. So, and when it comes to, I'm glad you mentioned the word agent. So then, like I said, after my NYSC, I started working in Total Nigerian PLC, and then I had like colleagues that always traveled, on vacation and all. And when I told them, okay, I think I need to get a visa, a student visa in order
Yeah.
to go to the US and study. So one of my colleague, she was very helpful. She was one of my direct bosses, and then she gave me someone's number to call the person. And I called the person. I was like, "Oh, I need to go to the United States. What's the process? How can I do it?" You know. And the guy was like, "Oh, you need to pay," and I paid. And the person got me a date. And I was like, "Okay, that's it." I didn't really sit down to do the whole work. I'll come to the whole application process just after the story.
Yeah.
So after doing that, I got to the embassy and I just had a date. I had nothing done. I wasn't in the system. And,
Oh,
as soon as I got to the gate, God helping me, I got there early. And then, I met some of these guys that usually stand, by and they're like, "Oh, where are your documents?" I was like, "I just have this. So this is my date. I had my I-20 and all." And they're like, "No, you're not even in the system. How, you don't even exist to them right now." I didn't even pay service fee. That was how
wow.
bad it was.
Ooh,
So, so I got in, so we ended up running to a cyber cafe. Then I filled up the whole documents, and then I went in because I didn't pay my I-94. They told me to come back and all. So
yeah.
that was, depending on an agent, not knowing what to do. So I usually tell people every information is available. You can always sit down and do research. I think sometimes the problem we have is doing the hard work, sitting down, reading documents, and know what the requirements are. And we think that those agents, fine, those agents have experience, but then we can actually do this on our own by ourselves without the help of nobody. We just need to sit down, dedicate our time, read, and then know what is expected from us. So for those people that want to study, first of all, I usually tell you, you have to want it. You don't, it shouldn't be, an escape route for you. I need to leave to the US and then you come here and that's it. You can come here and then if you don't
Yeah.
have a plan, you go back to square one. And then your story now, corroborates with what other people have said before, how they had to suffer, how they had to do this and do, different kinds of things in order to get back on track. You can eliminate all that process, by having a good plan and having to want it. So if you want to get into a master's program, you have to want it. This is what I actually want. I want to get a degree in order to further my career. It shouldn't be an escape route for you. If you want it to be an escape route for you, it'll be, but then you end up, having all those sad stories. And then the next step is you doing your research and looking at schools, looking at programs. If I want to do an MBA you should be done in 1 year. Which schools will I do an MBA? And as soon as I'm done, I'm more marketable. I'm able to, get a good job because there are jobs here that I can tell you. And also you need to ask yourself, you need to look at location, you need to look at, what would the environment look like? And also, what resources and what funding, actually available for you in order to be successful. And then in the whole application process, just like I tell people that, I usually come across, I know, first of all, your statement of purpose is key. You need to have a good statement of purpose. That tells me, for example, if I want to recruit you, I need to read your statement of purpose and be able to tell something about you. And also, something I would like to encourage most of your audience is that, most of you, especially those of you that are about to complete your bachelor's, get involved in a project. I know in Nigeria we don't really do internship programs,
Yeah.
but we also have the opportunity to, do final year projects. You know, do those projects as much as you can. Try and publish them. Show an interest in, or a passion in, like, research. Because if I'm gonna pay you to work for me, I should be able to know that you actually want it. You
True.
know, I don't just give you funding and expect you to just come and sit down, you know, and while away money or waste money. So get involved in a project as much as possible. You know, there are a lot of Nigerian journals that accept Nigerian projects. Try
Yeah.
as much as possible to publish them. And in your SOP, try as much as possible to also indicate, you know, or highlight some of your accomplishments,
Yes.
especially towards, and also show your passion for research as well. Your SOP is key, especially during this pandemic period. GRE is now waived for most schools,
Yeah.
so nobody actually requires that high GRE score anymore.
True.
You just need to have a good SOP. And then the second thing is your recommendation. Your recommendation tells a lot about you. I tell people as much as possible, if you go to an institution whereby they require three recommendations, have two from your professors, whereby they're telling good things about you, you know, about your research experience, and have one that tells about your personal life and about your, you know, your character, because that tells a lot about you as well. And, you know, like I said, the whole application process is easy. You don't need no agent. All you need to go to the school, you know, have your resume done, one page. I know in Nigeria we have about 4 pages. You know, have it concise, just one page,
True.
you know, I highlight your major accomplishments.
Yeah.
If you have an award, if you volunteered, you know, if you belong to any society, any program, or any association, indicate that. If you have any certification, those things that will make me look at your resume and want to have you in my lab or in my team as well. So once you have all those documents, I tell you, you can finish your whole application process in one day. And then once that is done, I know one hurdle that we usually face is West. West is a big issue, and as much as possible, you know, they'll always, if you know you actually want to study, you want to start now, to send your transcript to West and have them evaluate your transcript, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so that that doesn't delay your whole application process.
True.
And as soon as you're done with that, you can finish your whole application in one day, and that's step one. And then step two is that you want to go ahead and start communicating with professors. Like I have people that email me, oh, and you know, that they send me, like I said, your resume has to tell a lot about you. You
True.
know, I love, you have to show me that you have a passion for what I do. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
want to do your research, like I'll tell my friend, you want to do your due diligence. You know, you want to go, you know, look at what the professor is doing. Is it actually what you want to do? And if it's, you know, in line with what you want to do, you want to show interest. You know, okay, I have a passion for what you do, and you know, and also, there are also several tools that are available for us to communicate with our professors. LinkedIn is there. You know, make use of it as much as possible. LinkedIn is not the social media where you post your
Mm-hmm.
pictures of you eating rice or attending a wedding party or something. No, you want to always network. If you know, if you go to a school, you see the professor has funding. You know, you want to look for them on LinkedIn. You want to communicate with them as well, and as soon as you get a professor you want to work with, it's very easy. Yeah, you know, once you get your I-20, you know, it will show a source of funding. And as soon as you go to the embassy, it's more of like a whole walkthrough. And I
True.
think those are the basic steps we need to take, you know, have all those documents ready, do your application, go ahead, do your due diligence, you know, contact professors, ask for funding, make sure it's actually where you want to be. You don't want a situation whereby, you're given that and those funds, and at the end of the day, you're not able to complete the work.
True.
So because then you don't want to ruin the record, or create boundaries for people that will come after you as well. So I think those are the two basic steps. Again, to the audience out there, if you're in undergrad, you're about to finish, get involved in any project of any sort, you know, try as much as possible to publish them, you know. And one thing I'll tell you, your publication will pay in the
Oh,
future, like it's paying for me right now, you
yeah.
know, as much as possible. You know, do your diligence, contact professors, ask for funding. They will always respond to you.
Yeah.
And the whole application process is very, very easy.
Yeah. I will steal the words of JB. He said solid points. I agree. Solid points indeed, you know, because most people don't know. I remember when I applied, I used an agent, yeah, but it cost me a lot, and I regret doing that. But I was scared, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I started this podcast, to bring people like you on the show, so that people can have, hey, I listened to that man the other day. He's a good resource. You know what? Let me just send him a message and see what he can help me with. That's the reason we do that, so that people don't fall into the traps of false agents back home in Nigeria. I think you have touched much of the points with regards to the postgraduate studies and the tips you need to give to people. So I would skip that because I think you've done justice to that a little bit. But North Carolina University, why did you choose North Carolina? The city, first of all, why did you choose that school particularly?
Okay, so before I started, just a little bit tip or in terms of postgraduate studies.
Okay.
A lot of people think education in Nigeria is very, very stressful compared to education here in the United. I'm sure you can tell. Forget about the research papers we have to write, but then the process is very easy. If you plan very well, give time, just like I said, you don't have to be on your computer every day. You don't have to study every day. Everything is all planned out. Even spring is already planned. We've not even gone into spring, but it's already planned out. And if the whole academic year is already planned out, it means you also need to plan yourself as well. And it's very easy. You just have to, have a good plan, make sure you're on top of your game, and, everything will be, you'll be successful. So in terms of why North Carolina A&T, so just like I said, I did my research, and like I said before, I had an aunt, of which it's very good that we have mentors, and it's very necessary that we have people that we look up to for direction. I didn't get a lot of that, but then at the initial stage, I did. And when I was looking into programs and I decided to go into biotechnology. I spoke to my aunt, who was an assistant professor at University of Indiana, and she happened to have, I think she was at North Carolina A&T for a year, and she knew that they had a good biotechnology program, and we looked into it. It was in line with all I wanted to do, and I decided to go to North Carolina A&T. It's the best decision I made. Like I said, it's the number one public HBCUs, in terms of diversity. We always want to go to where our people are, and the Nigerian community here is huge, and it's been helpful. And again, in terms of research, North Carolina A&T is on top of their game. And in terms of funding, like at the beginning of every year where we come to have our meetings, people talk about how much they are bringing from USDA, from, NASA and all this, um, NIH and all those, a lot of professors are on top of their game in terms of funding. So there's a lot of funding available. You just have to, I just have to see you credible and, in order to pick you or all the other professors. So in terms of funding, there was a lot of money, and there's still a lot of money here, and that's why I chose the university and the environment. So here in Greensboro, I've lived here for 8 years, and I've been to a lot of states. I've been to California, I've been to Illinois, I've been to DC, I've been to Texas, Florida, and each time I travel, I always want to come back because I love it down here. It's a school city, so you have about four universities here, and it's a big, I call it a big town, but a lot of people don't agree. It might not be like in New York or LA, but then it's a city that I'm very comfortable living in. Cost of living is also cheap. So again, when I tell people what I pay and where I live, and people in New York or California, and they're always jealous. I'm like, you went to the big city, and
Right.
but then everything is down here. But in terms of research, North Carolina A&T is on top of their game. In terms of funding, they're also on top of their game. In terms of accepting international students, they are also on top of their game as well. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for that. It's the same thing I tell people. I love Missouri. I love my state. My city, St. Louis. It's small. It's in the middle of the country. It's a Trump city. It's a white city. I love it. So I've been to almost 35 states. Yes, but I always want to come back. Of course, cost of living is cheaper, affordable. My house rent affordable. So I understand. All right. So for North Carolina A&T. how much professional development program do you guys have for graduate students, like scholarships, both for masters and if someone wants to go for PhD as well too?
So usually, for your master's program, there are a lot of, like I said, North Carolina A&T has a lot of resources
Okay.
that enables the success of students. Yeah, career fair wise, I think we have one of the biggest. When we look at the Fortune, 10 companies, they are always at our career fair. So there are
Yeah.
a lot of resources available. Our library has a lot of resources available for students in order to make sure they are successful. And in terms of scholarships, like I said, our faculty here at North Carolina A&T, they are always on top of their game.
Yeah.
And just like I said, okay, like me, someone like me, I just started I'm going to my second year. And at the end of the year you always, be evaluated just to ensure that you're on top of your game as well. And you have to bring in that money, whichever way you like. So during the summer, a lot of people, I was writing, you write, several grants and all. And I'm happy to say, I think I just got my first one about $30,000,
Nice.
and
Whoa.
which
Okay.
is exciting. When you put in
Yeah.
all those hard work, and
Great.
then at the end of the day, you find out that it was approved. You have funding resource, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully I'll start my research um, at the beginning of next year, January. Because of this COVID, I couldn't really start. So again, you see people securing millions and millions of dollars. So there are a lot of scholarship opportunities available, but then you have to give me something in order to, or you have to convince me to hire you. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I have to look at your resume. I have to, look at your passion. I may not be able to see you. And nowadays, a lot of professors go, with the use of technology, you know, um, they
Great.
now want to have conversations with you,
Mm-hmm.
just to see or, tell
Yeah.
your character and, look at how, passionate you're interested in doing research. So, yeah, so. And there are a lot of opportunities here for students. I tell you, usually I'll tell you, your first semester might be hard a little bit, whereby you probably need to pay out of pocket or something. But then once you find your way into the system, you always be very, very easy for you.
Yeah.
The graduate school itself gives tuition waiver. As international students, I know our tuition is very expensive, but then, they give that tuition waiver, and then with you securing an assistantship, either a research assistantship or um, teaching assistantship, you know, you can always pay off whatever you owe and still
Okay.
have money to survive and and live. So yeah, so
Yeah.
like I
So
said, there are a lot of opportunities available. Mhm.
absolutely. So we have a question here from Owan Igbo. Dr. Kingsley, how do you keep a work stroke life balance?
So most of all, like you know forget about social media.
Yeah,
I tell people what you see on social media is what people want you to see.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, I try as much as possible to balance my work and personal life. So like I said before, I'm someone that I travel a lot to experience and get motivated, in the sense that, for example, if I go, my goals right now might be different than when I go to LA and see what's out there, and then come back and I'm like, okay, I need to step up. I need to, put in more work, and, improve myself, get better. If I need to, get more certifications,
Yeah,
do I need to look for, more opportunities, more funding resources and all. And then also, I think another way we can balance our work and, personal life is having good friends. So I have a good, you know, circle, especially during this COVID period. We kind of, did the whole thing together, and
yeah,
nothing as good as having friends that you can call and have those conversations, and when in those trial times, those difficult times, and then be able to pull through. And also, like I said, I love to party a lot. I'm just saying that in passing. Yeah, like, party, have good time, have fun. You know,
Absolutely.
usually a lot of people, I had a podcast, like a program whereby we talked about mental health. It's a very big problem.
Yes.
Most people don't acknowledge it, but it's there. If you have a brain, it means you can have mental health issues.
I agree.
So, just have that support system, travel, take time off work. You don't need to be on your computer every day, and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
All right, so I have another question. Tell us something you wish you knew before you came based on your experience and people you have met.
So, something I wish I knew
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I came based on my experience. So, like I said, I wish coming down here, like I said, if having a mentor, someone to guide you and
Okay.
put you through the whole system, the way things work, especially in this country whereby you need information is key in this part of the world. If I wish I had more mentors, and also access to um, other universities in the sense that I probably must have switched universities after my master's, maybe somewhere else, just to get more experience. Um, but then again, having, to have more network, or have more mentors, especially in other universities,
Yeah.
also gives you an opportunity to, um, have, access to, a bigger network. When you're in the same university, your network seems to be like, it's very small. But then if you have access to, other universities, and again, one thing that helped me break through that was, attending conferences whereby, by presenting my research, I was able to interact with other professors and, they share their experience and, and so on, So I think that, it's something that if I had, and also here in the United States, if you have someone to guide you to make decisions, like I'll give you an example. Coming here, and nobody should get this contest wrong. Like I said, we're all learning. You know, coming here, I remember getting my first car. It was a used car, and
Yeah.
I wish somebody told me never to buy a used car. Maybe that would have been a very good decision. So because the problem that comes with it is so big, and I
Absolutely.
wish someone was there to tell me, okay, Kingston, whenever you buy a used car, as much as we might think it's challenging, it's doable.
Yes.
So that's just an example.
Sure.
So I wish I had people that I looked up to that could guide me and tell me do this, do that. Maybe when I was applying for my PhD program, they would have told me move, go somewhere else. They would have motivated me, pushed me hard in order to change my environment, because right now it's just more of like I'm in a relaxed environment. I did my master's, my PhD, I did my postdoc, and now I'm an assistant professor in the same university. It's not as a bad thing, but then I could have gained more experience, you know, you know, in different colleges or different universities as well. But again, it's still doable.
Oh, yeah.
We're still growing. Yeah.
All right, so I have another question. What drives you, stroke keeps you motivated?
What drives me? I know, like they say, I know where I'm coming from.
True.
And for me, I have a slogan which is forward ever, backward never. So when I see where I'm coming from and where I want to be,
Yeah.
that drives me.
True.
As I, as I said, we're all Nigerians. I'll speak pidgin. We weren't born with a silver spoon or gold spoons. We made our own spoons. So, when I see where I'm coming from and look at my peers, you know, I get motivated as well. And also, I have friends that do great things. I have friends that are doing their master's program. I have friends that are doctors. I have friends that are doing their PhD programs. I have friends that they've been to Ivy Leagues. I have friends that when I see what they do or how they do it, it drives me and it pushes me. And like I said, I have a very good strong network.
yeah,
I have good friends that, the goal is for everybody to be successful,
so
getting jobs, moving to new cities. And most times when I hear, all this good news, it kind of motivates me, to work harder and, like I said, and also work smarter as well.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, it's life. You cannot come to America without a plan, first of all, and you
Hmm.
cannot come here and come and relax.
Hmm.
There are bills to be paid. Bills don't say, oh, no, you don't have money this month, don't pay. You have to pay. So
Yeah.
you're here, you're working, you're schooling, you're trying to be the best of you. It's a whole package together. So that when you talk about mental health, being important is absolutely important.
Yeah.
For me, what I do when I know I'm stressed mentally, I just go and watch anime. I put in the anime, watch the cartoon, and laugh, and I feel good. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, what is something on your bucket list? That you want to still do in America that you've not done so far.
Yeah, just before I answer that question, I wish I watched anime, but I don't find it interesting. So
Really?
for you,
Oh, okay.
no, no, no. So for me, just before I answer that as well, one thing I did was I took works, especially during this pandemic period. Teaching from home, it's very stressful, I'll tell you.
True.
Sitting down, at home teaching students, you know, and they don't even want to turn on their camera, and then it's like you're talking to
That's me.
yourself.
That's me.
But then we have to find a way to make it like more interactive. I ask questions, we go back and forth, we have group discussions and all, and it's stressful. So having to sit down, teach, and then yeah. So one thing I did was to take walks on a very good day, every day. In some cases run, listen to music. Just like I said, I had a lot of recommendations in terms of podcasts, like listening to you and listening to other great people. Just take a walk, listen to it, laugh. I guess people people see me and say, "Oh, why is this guy talking to himself?" Not knowing that, also helps you
Listen
think.
to.
And like I said, I travel a lot. Traveling also helps me, think. I get inspired, by traveling and all. But then one thing on my bucket list, I'll tell you before I tell you that. So I've always loved roller coasters, and I remember the last time I went to Six Flags. I was like, that's the last time I'm gonna go on the roller
Same.
coaster.
Absolutely same.
Yeah, that was the last time I was gonna
Mhm.
go on the roller coaster, and that was just it for me. So for me, one other thing I need to do, as much as I love traveling and flying, I want to go skydiving, and I think that's one thing I'm here to do. I know it'll be fun, but then I know
My
I
heart.
just have I just have to do it, especially now. So
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe this year before the year runs out or next year. I'll
Okay.
probably go skydiving.
Cool. Well, don't go when
Yeah.
it's snowing because it's gonna be too cold.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. It will be
Anyway,
in the summer.
we still have a question. When should you start applying for a job when you're in grad school?
So usually the best time to apply is a year before you graduate. So if you're going to graduate in May, you want to start at least August now to start applying. And why I say that, so there are two different set of individuals. If you already have your work authorization, it's way easier for you to do that, to start applying. But then if you're an international student, because you need to apply for OPT, and it takes about maybe 3 months, I think 90 days.
Yeah.
You want to start early to do that as well, but also start applying because you don't want a situation whereby you get a job and then because of your OPT not coming out on time, that offer is taken away. I've seen people that have gotten job offers and because there was a delay in their OPT and they needed someone to fill in that position ASAP, that position was taken from them and they had to start all over again. So if
Yes.
you're going to graduate in May, you want to start now to start applying for jobs. And like I said, there are a lot of resources available that you can use. I don't know if you've heard about Handshake.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, Handshake is
Handshake
a
is new.
useful tool
Yeah.
available now whereby you can even meet recruiters.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, also LinkedIn is also one great resource. And it's as much as possible, try and market yourself. Nobody will do it for you, or you're the key to your success. So if you can sit down, market yourself, use
Yeah,
all the necessary tools available, get those certifications, build your resume, make yourself more marketable, and those job opportunities will come your way.
I agree. We have another
Yeah,
questions for you.
yeah.
Do you wish to someday take your knowledge home to make a change?
Yeah. So there are several ways of which we can do that. So right now I'm writing a grant with um, um, uh, I think it's North Carolina state as well. And the grant is um, it's geared towards teaching classes from here to people back in Africa. So again, we can have an impact from anywhere. You
True.
know, uh, you know, you can have tools, and also I also wrote a grant during the summer, which is still under review, whereby we're looking to take some students here back home and actually, you know, take them to the whole educational system. And again, I'm also, there are several opportunities that are coming up whereby, during the summer, whereby I won't be teaching classes,
Yeah.
we'll have the opportunity to, you know, be able to teach over there or have programs whereby it'll probably be like a quick program whereby we'll teach and and come back. So like I said, I don't have to be there physically at all times. Again, like I said, I'm still building myself career-wise, and hopefully the goal is to have an impact wherever I am, be here, be in Nigeria, Africa as a whole, but yeah, that's the goal, and whichever way I can, I'll always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that
Mhm.
answer. You talked about Handshake real quick. So
Yeah.
Handshake is an app used for students here in America, to
Mm.
find jobs and internship.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
just got a job for next year summer through
Mhm.
Handshake.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about Handshake before, honestly,
Yeah.
until I transferred to my new school. So yeah, Handshake is one of the things, the tools we can use here to get a good job.
Yeah.
All right. So before we let you go, what would you want to tell anyone, that want to come to America, either from Africa or from any other country in the world that wants to do the same thing you do or you've done so far or want to follow your footpath?
So, like I said, my advice to everyone is, do your research, do your due diligence, and first of all, have a plan.
True.
Also, like I said at the beginning of the program, you need to want it. You need to, it shouldn't be a plan B or plan C. Oh, I need to leave this country, nothing is working,
Yeah.
and then you come here and then you end up, having to tell those stories that people tell. You can actually tell a different story
Yeah.
by planning well. And like I tell people, have a good plan. Once you have a plan, okay, this is what I want to accomplish, and I plan to do it in the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Hmm.
And then, you have a plan and you want to look into schools that fit into your plan. You want to look for those scholarship funding opportunities that are available, and you know get them as much as possible. I tell people you can get into graduate 4 or 5 graduate programs. Have that mindset whereby you just don't end up, it's only one and then you get into that one. Have 4 or 5 and then you sit down and make a decision and compare and okay, what do I tend to gain if I go to North Carolina State University? What do I gain if I go to Cornell or Duke University? And have those plans. And from what I see, I think most people think it's very difficult to get admitted into a university in America, but then it's not difficult. Like I said, once you have that good SOP that tells you know good things about yourself or character-wise, research, experience-wise, or even telling your story of how you want to impact the world and how you want to grow and develop a successful career. And I buy into it, and that's it. You don't need, most people don't even look at GRE scores anymore
True.
because, it's like I said, we're all Nigerians. We can do true and poor and, ace those exams. And at the end of the day, we have nothing to tell, you
True.
know. So it's very necessary that we have a plan, work towards that plan, and be patient. Don't be in a rush. Sometimes we're impatient and then we end up making mistakes that we end up regretting. So, just be patient and as much as possible, get all those information you need and look for a mentor that will always guide you. Your mentor will always look out for the best for you. If they see any opportunities available, they will let you know and they will be there to guide you along the way, as much as possible. And also make use of, use of all these resources that are available in terms of LinkedIn, you know, build your network. I've come in contact with students that, we probably met on LinkedIn and then they come to me in person. Oh, I was the one talking to you on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh wow, finally, I get to see you. Right now, when I, go into my email, I see students, looking for those opportunities as well. So build your network, do your research, and do your due diligence, and it'll be a very, very easy process for you.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah,
yeah.
thanks. Thank you. So thank you, everybody. Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Kingsley. Before we let you go, lastly, trust me, this is the last one. Do you have any shout outs for anybody at all? Shout outs.
Oh yeah, I have like I said, I have a huge network, and I see most of my friends are here.
Yeah.
First of all, I'll give a shout out to Weibo. You've probably called her several times. Stephanie. Stephanie is
Okay.
like my buddy. She's like
Nice.
she's a very good, a very good friend. We've been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, Jimmy, I can see you. I know we've not spoken in a minute, but then hey, good to see you. I can see David. A lot of my friends are here, and it's good to have everyone here.
Yeah.
And to those of you that are upcoming, like I said, it's doable. Just have that passion, be
Mhm.
patient, do your research, do your due diligence, and you'll be very, very successful. You
Yeah.
know, don't look at it as a big thing. Like I said, it's doable. Have that mindset that you work smart. You know, everything is possible, especially in America, whereby you're given equal opportunity as well.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Kingsley, thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much, guys. Dr. Kingsley's podcast drops tomorrow. So if you missed out today or you want to listen to it again, it will be available tomorrow. So you can listen to it. Thank you so much. Please. Okay, this was quite educated. Oh, yeah, thank you. So thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful
Mhm.
weekend. I hope to have you again on the show in the future to see how far you've gone and to see where the skies will take you to. So thank you so
Yeah.
much, sir.
Thank you very much, Kelly.
Yeah. Have a
Yeah.
wonderful weekend.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. All right. Thank you, everybody. That was Dr. Kingsley Ekwemalor. Wonderful guy, wonderful person. I'm seeing a request to join. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. We have more questions here. I promise Dr. Kingsley will answer them in the podcast that will record very soon and it will drop tomorrow. The mic for the podcast is ready already. So thank you guys for coming today. Please, COVID-19 is still real, so out there. Wear your mask. I have this mask. I have this mask. I have so many masks in my house. So please get your mask, social distance to the best of your ability. You know, and be safe out there. Be safe out there. For Thanksgiving, for hang out with friends, be safe. Go out there, have fun, but be wise. Questions. Answer my question. Let me see. Getting costly into the new neutral resources. I don't know why honors is expensive, but I hope things get better off, not just in Nigeria, but the whole world as a whole. Well, and also, we just had an election in America. We have a new president, President-elect Joe Biden, and President-elect, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And I hope things will get better, both for international students and for everyone out there. And we're happy, we're thankful to God. So please go on our Instagram page at igowithigho.com. You can see it on a shirt here. And please follow us on Instagram, follow us on Spotify and all our podcast platforms. And let's just keep getting better. And if you want to be on the show, please send me an email. Send me an email, please, and hopefully I can get you on the show and you can share your experience to the world. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys soon.